please come in. Sit down, Sanketh.
Thank you, sir.
Unbutton your coat. What's your first name?
Sir, my name is Sanketh, sir. Ajmera is my surname.
Okay. Sanketh, introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, my name is Ajmera Sanketh Kumar, and I hail from the state of Telangana. I have completed my primary schooling in Hyderabad, and I've done my graduation and post-graduation from IIT Delhi. And I've also worked for 1 year in Japan as a research and development engineer. And I'm a single child. Both of my parents are in the government services, and my interests are watching animations, teaching, and self-reflection through journaling.
You have stayed in Japan for a year.
Almost a year, sir. 11 months.
Okay. We start with Dr. Singh.
Okay, Ajmera,
Yes, sir.
you have interest in teaching.
Yes, sir.
Why not teaching as a career?
Sir, that would be a good career itself, but I am interested in playing a positive role in the society in many diverse areas. So I believe civil services is my preferred choice.
But teaching will provide you opportunity for a lot of contribution, positive contribution, building up
Yes, sir.
the nation.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. But again, I like the diversity of challenges that the civil services provide.
Okay. So, you also have interest in hockey.
Yes, sir.
Have you played hockey?
Yes, sir. I played it for 2 years during my bachelor's.
Okay. So, you keep track of what is happening in hockey?
Sir, unfortunately not anymore, sir.
Not anymore.
I used to play, but now I...
No, but do you keep track of it?
Sir, not much. I just read some news about it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, let me move to international politics.
Sure,
You
sir.
must be aware of what is happening.
Sure, sir.
International Human Rights Council.
Okay, sir.
Have you heard of it?
Sir, I have not. I have heard of it, but I
Not
believe my
aware of
knowledge
it.
is less
Okay.
about it. I will read about it.
You're not aware of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you tell me, what is your favorite area of interest in international politics? From where I can ask you some question.
Sir, I am interested in Indian relations with its neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Have you heard of this term neighborhood first?
Yes, sir. It is India's policy of keeping good relations with the neighbors first. before
Our
other
Foreign
countries.
Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar,
Yes, sir.
he was recently talking about neighborhood first. Are you aware of it? In what context he could be talking about it?
Sir, I'm not aware of this particular
not aware of
news, sir. So I will
Okay.
look into that.
So, how do you assess India's relationship with the neighborhood?
Sir, I believe that after independence, India has grown to be a regional power, especially after it has shown itself being a leader in strategic and defense domains, and it also is it is also a member of a lot of multilateral regional organizations such as SAARC, BIMSTEC, and BRICS as well. So I believe India plays a major role, and it also advises a lot of countries around like Maldives and Bhutan as well. So,
But you know, there are several countries in our region, in our neighborhood,
yes, sir.
and they see India as a negative impact of peace, and they say India is often behaving like a big brother. What do you understand by big brother?
So Big Brother can be seen both ways. One is somebody who advises you, and another is someone who also regulates your behavior in
What
ways.
is your impression? What do they mean?
Sir, if we look at countries like Maldives, there is a notion such as India out policy, where when India is referred to as Big Brother, it is seen in a more as a country which is regulating the politics of Maldives. So I don't think it is seen as a positive with respect in a positive way.
What
with
about
respect to some
India's
countries.
relationship with Sri Lanka? Is it big brotherly or it's a good neighbor relationship? How do you assess it?
Sir, I would like to assess this by looking at the current political scenario. If we look at the current leaders in power, they are with they are in support of India, and but on the other hand, the opposition is doubtful of India with respect to India-Sri Lanka relations. So
Okay.
it has to be looked both ways, I believe.
But
sir.
don't you think India is helping Sri Lanka recently?
Yes, sir, it is doing.
So India is,
Yes, sir.
why should they doubt India?
Sir, I believe there are. Sir, one, I would believe that I can think of two reasons for this. One is that India's misadventure during the Tamil crisis has not yielded good results, and secondly, I would also doubt the presence of China in Sri Lanka as well, which is leading to a negative image of India in Sri Lanka.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sanket,
Yes, sir.
you have done your bachelor's from IIT Delhi
Yes, sir.
and then you worked in Japan.
Yes, sir.
Japanese economy is in permanent recession, is it not?
Sir, I'm not aware if it's in a permanent recession, but I've heard that it has
Since last so
stagnated.
many years it is in this. Okay, how much interest do you get in a savings bank deposit there?
Sir, it is very much less, and I believe it is negative at times as well.
Did you put money in the bank there?
Yes, sir.
How much did you get?
Sir, I believe part of my salary was
No,
deducted.
you believe or you know?
Sir, I'm not. I just know about the bank that I have put my money in, not about in
No,
general.
I am told
economics.
you have to pay money to keep something in the bank.
Yes, sir, I've heard of.
You don't get any interest. You have to pay something for the expenses incurred by the bank.
Yes, sir. And there is a charge on debit transactions, money withdrawals, and other services of the bank.
Because the interest rates there are in negative.
Pardon, sir.
Interest rates are in negative.
Yes, sir.
Sign of recession.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let us move to a different subject.
Sure, sir.
You have stayed in Delhi. You know the problems of municipal corporations of Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Now recently government has moved a bill for unification
Yes, sir.
of all the three
Yes, sir.
MCDs,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
What are your views on this? It has been passed in the parliament now.
Yes, sir, it is. Sir, I'm not much aware of the situation, but as far as I have studied about it, it will ease the process of allocation of resources in the three municipal departments. And
How?
Sir, I have read that the money that is granted to these in the form of salaries or any other resources for development do not come at the same time, so that impedes the developmental process.
Next question.
Okay, sir.
Supposing you are somebody important in the government hierarchy,
Okay, sir.
what reforms would you like to make in the police?
In the police, sir, currently the police institution is suffering with many problems, such as under trials. There have been cases of human rights violations as well, and so to this end, I would like to first of all see to it that investigations are carried out in a time-bound manner, and secondly, sir, there have been recommendations by the Law Commission as well to separate the law and order and the investigation department. So I would also look into that as well, sir.
What is green hydrogen?
So green hydrogen is hydrogen that is produced using renewable energy sources.
Okay. Then what is brown hydrogen or black hydrogen?
So brown hydrogen is produced using burning of coal, and I'm not aware of the black hydrogen, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of what is happening in Pakistan?
Yes, sir. Pakistan's.
What is happening?
So the current Prime Minister has lost his majority in the Parliament, but there was a resolution, no confidence resolution, that was about to be moved, which was bypassed because it was so there were so they had I'm sorry, sir.
All right.
So,
Aradhana?
yes,
You want to say something?
sir, I was just stuck.
Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it when you come for feedback.
Sure, sir.
Relax.
Thank you.
You're doing well. You belong to Hyderabad, huh?
Yes,
Telangana.
ma'am.
And you are a Lambadi, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the history of the Lambadis? Who are they? Where do they come from?
Ma'am, if we go in the medieval times, the Lambadis trace their origins to the gypsies from the Persian region, and their occupation was mainly trading in basic commodities like rice, wheat, and spices. And during the medieval times, due to a lot of wars that were happening in the North Indian region, these tribes, these also go by the name Banjaras. So these tribes spread across the country.
But they settled largely in Rajasthan first, isn't they?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
origins in India are traced from Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
Hence
Yes,
your
ma'am.
name Ajmera also, I think, must be drawn from there.
Yes, ma'am.
And but tell me, I was looking at your choices.
Yes,
You've
ma'am.
given fourth choice to Rajasthan in the zone, when
Yes,
a lot of candidates opt for Rajasthan in that
Yes,
zone
ma'am.
pretty high.
Yes,
so why?
ma'am.
Just curious.
Ma'am, because I've been in Delhi, then I have.
But you given Haryana a better preference than Delhi, than UT.
Yes, ma'am. So, I have heard one of my friends has been serving there, and I've heard highly of the
So
state
what is
there.
the status of women in Haryana?
Ma'am, the sex ratio in Haryana is one of the
What is it?
lowest in countries.
What was the last?
Ma'am, I think it is. I'm not aware of the exact figure, but it is around 880 for 1,000 in males, ma'am.
Okay. So what can be done to improve the lot of the status of women of Haryana?
Ma'am, to improve the status, we need to be looking at the reasons why this is happening. In states like Haryana, there is a contradiction between the income level and the status of women. So the reasons attributed for women's the position of women are patriarchal norms, and they feel like women are.
Patriarchal, the whole of India is a patriarchal society.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is Haryana different?
Ma'am, in Haryana there is also a system of Khap Panchayats, which also.
So Khap panchayats are not just on women.
Yes, ma'am, but they do impose the
They impose
patriarchal
on
norms.
others also.
Pardon, ma'am?
They impose restrictions on other things also.
Yes, ma'am, but
Anything that goes against the norms of society. So why is it especially hard on women?
I'm not saying it is especially hard on women, but this is an institution.
But you cited that as an example, no? Why women's
Yes, ma'am.
status is low.
This is an institution that is an informal institution,
Okay.
which also
Is it better in
behind the
Rajasthan than Haryana, the status of women?
problem. Ma'am, in terms of sex ratio, I think Haryana.
And other
Rajasthan.
indicators?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of other
Not
indicators, but I'll look into that.
Can you name 3 women-friendly legislations?
Ma'am,
Important ones.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a Dowry Prohibition Act. Then there is.
What does it provide?
It penalizes husbands if they are
Only
or-
husbands, sir?
and the in-laws as well, ma'am.
Okay.
And if they are
Something- what does
coercing
it
the
say?
people.
I mean, is there something else in it?
Ma'am, I'm not aware
Okay.
of this.
Some other 2 more legislations?
Ma'am, Prevention of Child Marriage Act and the guidelines related to sexual harassment at workplace for women.
That's not a legislation.
Okay, ma'am.
It's a guideline, as you say yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
There's an act, 2013, Sexual Harassment Act.
Yes,
Okay. Now, your father belongs to Adilabad, right?
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Which used to be very affected by Maoism, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Naxalites, etc.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is the status now?
Ma'am, the Maoist activities have decreased tremendously over the years. Decreased tremendously.
And how compare what has been done in erstwhile Andhra Pradesh
Yes, ma'am.
for tackling the issue of Maoism
Yes, ma'am.
as compared to, say, Chhattisgarh? Why has one failed, one succeeded?
Ma'am,
Three ways. Succinct, to the point.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, they have the Andhra Pradesh government has adopted a 2-pronged strategy. One is through modernization of the police force and training them especially for guerrilla warfare. They are called greyhounds. And secondly, they've also tried to integrate the development process with the tribals in the form of construction of roads and getting them educated. And they've also incentivized people for informing the police about any Maoist activities, ma'am.
Chhattisgarh also said it did similar things. There was Selva Judam.
Okay.
You heard of Selva Judam?
Ma'am, I've not heard of this, ma'am.
Okay.
I will read about it.
All right. Now, very interestingly, you have done in your biodata. Really interested to see. You have published research on neonatal nasal trauma and design of a respiratory device for the same.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you quickly tell us, first of all, why you thought of this?
Ma'am, I joined bachelor's, especially the branch of mechanical engineering, to pursue projects
But
and
why did you
do
think
part
of
of
nasal
this.
trauma in newborns?
Ma'am, this was actually a project that was presented to me, so and I was just interested because it had a real implication.
What was the project about? Give me 3 of the outcomes or your recommendations.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, the problem with Indian neonates was that they are not strong enough to be inhaling the air at atmospheric pressure. So they use
The problem with
Indian neonates, the premature babies, ma'am, is that they are not strong enough, and they have a lot of trauma when respiratory aids are inserted.
Yeah,
Because
I want to ask you how you did it, what you did.
Yes, ma'am. So, firstly, we wanted to address that problem of injuries, nasal injuries. So, we mapped the whole faces of preterm babies using ultraviolet scanning methods. And secondly, we had seen what kind of numbers or parameters can be attributed to the facial measurements. So, we came up with almost 30 measurements that can be done.
So what you are saying is that critical to everything is the correct measurement. That's all. That's what you've said so far.
Yes,
that's it. What was the device, incidentally? What was the device?
Ma'am, there have been devices until now.
What was the device that you designed? You said you did a research project, no?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the device precisely?
Ma'am, we devised an alternate form of the existing devices which do not have the correct measurements connected to our babies.
Now, since we are on neonatal,
yes, ma'am.
Do you have an idea? There's something called IMR,
Yes,
infant
ma'am.
mortality
Yes, ma'am.
rate.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the IMR of India today? The last measured?
Ma'am, it is around 36 per 1,000 individuals.
And how much percentage of that is the NMR? Neonatal mortality?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, NMR of India is 29 per 1,000 births.
And okay, so you say that is 36, this is 29. So do you think so much money, etc., so much effort spent in vaccination
Yes, ma'am.
is worthwhile? Because 67% is NMR, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the 3 primary causes of NMR?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one is because of the malnutrition of mothers. Secondly, there are complications during birth and due to unsafe delivery mechanisms. And thirdly, due to the post-birth care that is insufficient in Indian healthcare system as of now, ma'am.
Okay, even assuming you are right. Then this massive vaccination program, it is not really going to cut down infant mortality because NMR still remains. NMR has other issues.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you think it's a waste of money? The money would be better spent in setting up SNCUs and looking more at neonatal care?
Ma'am, ma'am, can I just ask vaccination at what stage, ma'am?
You tell me, what is the vaccination program?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of this particular.
Okay, never mind. My last question. What would you call Putin? The butcher of Russia or a bold strategist and patriot?
Ma'am, I would call him the latter, madam.
Okay, and why?
Because we also understand Russia's position today with respect to the action that is taking in terms of if the NATO comes closer to Ukraine, it will be in the range of
NATO.
Russia.
Okay, what else?
Yes, ma'am. And secondly, ma'am, the economy of Russia is subjected to sanctions, while in a globalized
That
world.
has happened after he has invaded Ukraine.
Yes, ma'am. I'm talking about after invasion.
But the issue of butcher of Russia or patriot
Yes, ma'am.
would be the decision to invade Ukraine, right? As you rightly said, the first point about
Yes,
NATO.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Ma'am, I will think about it. Ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Ajmera,
Yes,
you
sir.
have a very distinctive profile.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask you about machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What would be the difference?
So artificial intelligence is a set of statistical methods which will help a computer to take decisions like a human being, and machine learning is one method to do so, which uses neural networks.
So machine learning is a subset of AI or the other way around?
So machine learning is a subset of AI.
Moving on to artificial intelligence,
Yes, sir.
there was once a competition between a world champion, chess champion, and a machine.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me the details?
Sir, I'm not aware of the chess champion per se, but the computational machine was designed by Google's AI called DeepMind, and
Called
DeepMind,
Deep Blue.
Deep Blue. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, moving on to maths, which was your subject.
Yes, sir.
Tell me something about the numbers 1729.
Sir, it's called the Ramanujan number, and it was given by Mr. Ramanujan as a unique number, as it is the smallest number that can be expressed as sum of cubes of two natural numbers in two different ways.
So, what's the story behind this? There's a
Yes,
story behind this.
Sir, it was a day when Mr. Ramanujan was admitted into the hospital, and the mathematician Dr. G.H. Hardy comes to visit him in a taxi, whose number was 1729. And just by merely looking at the number, Mr. Ramanujan comes to this conclusion about the numbers.
You've heard of Lord Ganeshji?
Yes, sir.
Why is he also known as Ekdant?
Sir,
What was the story behind that?
Sir, I have briefly informed about this, where he used one of his tusks to kill a monster.
To kill someone?
Kill.
Kill whom?
Sir, I'm not aware of this. I will look
Okay.
into this, sir.
Patent. What is a patent?
So, patent is a exclusive right to the inventor of that particular product or a process to have all ownership rights to market, for example.
Are you aware that there's only one president, American president in history who has been granted a patent?
Sir, I'm not aware of
Not
this.
aware?
Sir, I will look into that.
Are you aware of the patent given to Michael Jackson?
Sir, I'm not aware of this. I will look into this, sir.
Hockey.
Yes,
Now
sir.
there was a film made on India's team going to the London Olympics. Are you aware?
Yes, sir.
What was the name?
London Olympics. Chak De India, sir.
Huh? Chak De India.
London Olympics.
London
sir,
Olympics.
I am not aware of this.
Okay, the
Sorry.
film was Gold.
Gold.
My final question, rule of law, how would you define this?
So rule of law means that the law is the supreme, and everyone in the country, whether it is the government or the people, should act in accordance with the law at all times. Sir.
Should act in accordance with the law. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, look it up. We'll talk about it during our feedback. Thank
Sure,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Sanket, please wait for a few minutes. We'll call you for feedback.
Sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.